Make the decision, okay? Because at the end of the day, nothing really is that permanent. I mean, like, obviously, if you pop out a baby, that's permanent, but you could give it away. I'm kidding.
Calling all rich little broke girls. Dial *67 because this is anonymous. It's time for confession session. You submit your juiciest confessions and questions to richlittlebrokeGirls.com/confess, and I answer them live on the show. But instead of a segment, let's make it the full episode.
Okay, our first confession is from Aria in Brooklyn. She writes,
I'm 28 and I suddenly feel like the clock is loud. Not even biologically, just life-wise. I thought I'd be way further along by now. I keep wanting to make big moves, but then I freeze because what if I make the wrong one? How do you move forward when every decision feels like it carries too much weight?
oh my God. Let me bring you down to earth for 2 seconds. One decision is not going to ruin your entire life. The reality is small decisions are what move your life forward, right? So you want to just get in a position where you're making a decision because indecision then becomes your decision. We're at an age now where decisions start to matter more. So make the decision. Make up your mind. Nothing really is that permanent. I mean, obviously, if you pop out a baby, that's permanent, but you could give it away. I'm kidding. That was a joke. I'm kidding. Do not give your baby away. But what I mean is just make the decision. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to say anymore. I realize that is so nasty. It's so rude. Somebody called me out on Spotify in my comments that I use that term too much. So I'm going to replace God with mother. I don't know. I'm trying to find a new word. I don't know. Make the decision, okay? Because at the end of the day, we get what we go after repeatedly, right? We get out of life what we ask for repeatedly. If you're not going after it, it is not coming to you. We get out of life what we show up for repeatedly. You cannot have what you put off. Your life and all of our lives are literally defined by the choices we make right now, not the choices we keep postponing, not the choices we keep delaying, not the choices we keep procrastinating, not the things that we're too afraid to ask for, not the things that we're too afraid to show up for. So make a decision because indecision is a decision, and it's a decision to delay your future. It's a decision to delay the reality of you living out your dreams. You're 28 years old. Why don't you finish your 20s with a bang, right? Why don't you take some damn risk? Make the fucking decision, because the only way to shape your future is to actually participate in it. So make the damn decision and change your mind if you want to. It's that simple. Our next confession is from Sloan in Chicago. She writes,
I'll be fine all day, and then I see someone my age doing something bigger than me, and my mood shifts instantly. I don't want to be bitter, but I feel behind and competitive and small. How do you stay ambitious without letting comparison ruin your peace?
Comparison is one of the most natural human instincts. Comparison is literally our brains just collecting information, gathering data, and understanding where you stand. Social comparison is literally the way that we evolve and we get better. It's literally how your brain says, oh my God, that is a possibility. I want to go after it. A lot of times we won't chase something if we feel like it's not available to us. And so comparison allows you to understand what's possible so that you can make a decision to evolve and achieve that thing. I think where it gets dicey is when you allow comparison to point out a deficiency and not a desire. Because if comparison is literally just information, literally just data, letting you know, okay, this is what's out there, this is what that person's doing, this is how much this person's making, this is how hard this person's working, this is what's possible, I could live in this neighborhood if I wanted to, I could actually go for that promotion if I wanted to. If comparison is literally just data and you're treating it as such, then it shouldn't trigger you to start feeling as though, oh my God, I'm deficient. The reason why they have XYZ XYZ and I don't is because I can't achieve XYZ. That's just not true. And when you allow comparison to absolutely cannibalize your outlook on life and make you feel less than, it literally just means that you are paying attention to the wrong scoreboard. You are comparing your chapter 3 with somebody else's chapter 8. And so I would say to you, instead of, letting comparison make you feel small, instead of letting comparison deflate your mood and making you feel like shit, why don't you just use comparison as information, as the data that it is, and then act on it, right? Like if you're online and you get triggered by someone else's platform, well, why don't you consider posting something today? If you see that someone got a book deal, why don't you consider, writing 300 words today? If you see someone's in like a happy relationship and you feel like, oh my God, I'm single and lonely, well, why don't you consider putting yourself out there? Why don't you go on a date this week? Why don't you ask a friend to set you up? Why don't you, flirt with someone? Why don't you tell someone how you feel instead of playing games? Like, do not allow comparison to make you feel less than. Understand that comparison is a very natural and normal part of life. It's a normal human behavior. It's a normal human instinct, but just don't let it consume you. There's nothing wrong with looking out there and understanding where you stand, but do not let where you stand dictate how far you can go. Understand that when you are seeing people doing things that perhaps you want to be doing, that is not a reflection that you're not capable. It's just a reflection of what's possible, and you should allow that to inspire you and to motivate you to go out there and get after it. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You are not less than because someone is doing quote unquote better than you, but you will be less than if you become a person that allows other people doing well to dictate your ability to do anything. Like, that is insane. Get it together, put on your big girl panties, and get to work.
Rich Little Broke Girls is supported by you and our brand partners. So if you love me, don't treat me like a boy, and let's make it official. Put it on record where our sponsors can see and give me a 5-star review with a compliment. It doesn't have to be true, but it has to be in writing.
Our next confession is from Jordan in Los Angeles. She writes,
I feel like I'm always almost where I want to be, almost successful enough, almost confident enough, almost ready. I keep preparing instead of executing. How do you know when it's time to stop getting ready and just risk looking stupid?
let me tell you something. When anyone starts anything, they look stupid and they feel stupid, but that is a part of growth, right? Like, you have to understand and learn how to do something well, but the only way you're going to do that is by doing it. You will learn so much more by trying than you'll learn in a month of planning. At a certain point, preparation just becomes procrastination, right? Like, you are procrastinating doing the damn thing because, I don't know, maybe you're afraid of looking stupid. I don't know. Maybe you're afraid of being perceived. I don't know. Maybe you're a perfectionist and you want to get it so right in the planning phase that there are absolutely no hiccups when you go to do the thing. Well, let me tell you something. That's just never going to happen. That literally is never going to happen. Do the thing, execute, and you will get better while you are doing it. There's a quote from Alencia Johnson. Love her. She's been on the show before. I'll link her episode in the show notes. She wrote a book titled Flip the Tables, and she says something so powerful. Ready is a decision, not a feeling. You have to decide that you're ready to do something. You don't wait around waiting to feel ready. That just doesn't necessarily happen, especially in the age of doom scrolling, especially in the age of the attention economy, whereby at every step of your day, there are some tech company, some tech giant, some social media platform that is vying for your attention. Like, you have to make a decision to do the thing. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in this loop of, oh my God, but I'm scared. Like, I just don't think it's time. Like, okay, well, maybe I should just plan a little bit more. Maybe I need to just go to ChatGPT and ask a couple more questions. Give yourself a deadline. You have to give yourself a deadline. There is a law that explains this perfectly. It's called the Parkinson's Law, and it states that work expands to fill the time you give it. So if you give a task, let's say you want to launch a business, if you give yourself 30 days to launch the business, it will take you 30 days to launch the business. But if you give yourself 7 days to launch the business, it will take you 7 days to launch the business, because work expands to fill the time you give it. So if you give a task a week, it'll take a week, even if it could be done in a day. Give yourself a deadline, stop procrastinating, and understand that ready is a decision and it's not a feeling. Because if it were up to your feelings, you wouldn't be doing shit. Let's just be honest. And that goes for me, for you, for anybody listening to this. If it were up to our feelings, we would be in bed doom scrolling because our phones are so damn addictive. So make a decision and get up and get after it. Seriously. You're wasting your damn time. Our next confession is from Bree in Phoenix. She writes,
"Is it weird that I don't actually like hanging out in groups anymore? I leave girls' dinners overstimulated and slightly insecure, even when nothing bad happened. I prefer one-on-one, but then I worry I'm isolating myself. Am I maturing or just becoming antisocial?"
if you are someone that cannot handle group settings, or you feel depleted or drained after group settings, you're not antisocial, you're just overstimulated. And you have to understand that there's a difference between not liking people and not liking how you feel in certain spaces, not liking how you feel after being around certain people. If there's a group of people that are making you feel insecure, sometimes it has nothing to do with them. Sometimes it has everything to do with you. And I think you need to honor the season that you're in. Maybe you're in a little bit more of like a sensitive season. Maybe you're in a season where comparison or jealousy is absolutely consuming you. The thing about group settings is they are a lot, right? There's a lot of social comparison. There's the hierarchy, there's timing, there's energy. It's almost like a football game, which I don't personally understand the game of football, but I know it's just like a lot of people like banging their heads against each other. There's like CTE, there's like runners, there's catchers, there's pitchers. There's just too much going on. And I think sometimes, especially if you're in a season where you're overstimulated, being in a game of football is too much. I think it's okay that you prefer one-on-one situations right now. They're easier. It's easier to get deep with someone. It's almost like a game of ping pong. Again, never played ping pong a day in my life. And I also understand the Academy doesn't really appreciate ping pong, which is why Marty Supreme didn't win a god Oscar. Oh my God, I'm not allowed to say god. Group settings can be overwhelming. Group settings can overstimulate you. It doesn't mean that you are antisocial. It just means that right now you appreciate depth over volume. And that happens for me too. Like the entire month of February, I did not want to see anyone. I did not want to do anything. That doesn't mean that I'm broken. It doesn't mean that I'm antisocial. It doesn't mean that I hate everyone. It just meant that my nervous system was maxed out. My nervous system was burnt out. A lot of times it also has nothing to do with the group. It can just have everything to do with how you're regulated on the inside, right? It can have everything to do with your workload. It can have everything to do with your physical health. It could have everything to do with your menstrual cycle. Like sometimes you are in a season where there's just too much going on, and the added layer of having to socialize with 10 people at a time is just too much. It's exhausting. But if I could give you one piece of practical advice, I would just say honor the season you're in, but don't stay in it and don't build an identity around it. Saying things like, oh my God, am I antisocial? No, you're not antisocial because you don't want to hang out with 100 people today. And I think you could also just track how you feel after being around certain people. Like if you leave a situation feeling energized, then like, okay, that's the right situation. That's the right space for you. But if you leave a situation, an environment, a space feeling depleted every single time, then you need to scale it back. And again, it may not have anything to do with them. I'm not saying that like you need to cut people out of your life, but you need to understand that in the season that you're in, this environment, this space, this situation does not work for you. So instead of, going out with 10 people, maybe you hang out with 2 people. Instead of having a large dinner party, maybe you ask a couple friends out for tea. Scale it back just a bit. I think another thing that a lot of people are really fixated on when it comes to friendships and just participating in social groups, there's this like weird fantasy of having a core group. Get rid of it. Like, stop the core group fantasy. That is something for movies. I think, like, as you get older, you start to understand that friendships serve different parts of your life. You have some friends that are good for hot girl walks. You have some friends that you can hit up to talk about your career, to talk about your ambition, to talk about your next move. And then you have some friends that you can get up with. You have some friends that you can party with. You have some friends that you can go out with. But this idea that you need to have a core group of friends that you spend every living and breathing hour with, it's just not realistic. And it just puts too much pressure on you. I think you should also take some time to understand where these feelings of being maxed out socially are coming from. If you're saying no to hanging out with a bunch of friends because you're tired, that is you just being self-aware. But if you're saying no to hanging out with your friends because you're scared of feeling small or you're feeling really insecure, that is something entirely different that you need to unpack. Because now the question is not, am I antisocial? The question is, what spaces make me feel like me, and what spaces make me feel like I'm trying to be someone that I'm not? You cannot operate in spaces where you are performing. That is so exhausting. Save that for your career, because you're going to have to do that in your day job. But I just don't think that you should be performing for your friendships. It's too much. At the end of the day, your social capacity is allowed to fluctuate, right? You're allowed to want to be around a million people today, and then tomorrow or next week or next month be like, oh my God, like I only want to see my ride or die friend. Like I cannot manage all of these different energies, the hierarchy, the vibes, the timing, the social comparison. I cannot manage that right now. But just try not to confuse taking a beat with isolating yourself. It's okay to take a beat, but I just don't think it's okay to isolate yourself. And that's all I have to say on that. Our final confession is from Tess in Boston. She writes,
I hooked up with someone casually and caught real feelings. He was honest that he doesn't want anything serious, but I keep thinking if I just play it cool, he'll eventually change his mind. I know I'm technically choosing this, but it still hurts. How do you walk away from something that feels good in the moment, but bad for you long term?
Tess, honey, I say this to you in love, and I say this to you with the dignity that I hope you will carry in relation to men moving forward. I need you to stop trying to be the cool girl. I need you to stop trying to be the go with the flow girl, because that is quite literally how you end up in a ditch. That is quite literally how you end up in the back of a car, no exit, no cell service, and a case. Knock it off. You're not the cool girl. You're not the go with the flow girl. You're the what time are you expecting me girl. You're the where are the plans girl. You're the you need to text me and confirm the day before girl. You're the this is where I'm going. You either get with it or you get lost girl. But you're not a cool girl. Quick shout out to the guy that you're dealing with, because at least he's being honest. I think a lot of women get stuck because the man that they're dating, the man that they're dealing with, says that he wants something serious, but then he treats them casually. In your situation, this guy has told you exactly what time he's on, exactly what page he's on, and you, for some reason, have decided, no. Actually, no. I actually want you to read this book. I know you want something casual, but I'm going to stick around to see if I can change your mind. Unlike the other girls who are confused at the fact that a man is saying one thing and acting the other, you, for some reason, are confused that a man is saying one thing, he wants to date you casually, and he is acting as though he wants to date you casually because he wants to date you casually. He's telling you that he doesn't want anything serious with you, and you're scratching your head trying to understand if you could do voodoo or some type of witchcraft and wizardry to change his mind. That's just not gonna happen. You're not confused. You're making a choice. And the longer you wait around for him, the more you're gonna get attached to this fantasy version of him and not the one who already told you what time he's on. And he is not on your time. He does not want anything serious, and he just wants to casually see you. This situation actually reminds me of the cookie analogy by a friend of the show, Kris Haraldsson. She is amazing. She's a shadow work coach, and she shared this analogy on the podcast in episode 55. It's called The Myth of Being Chosen. I'll actually link the episode in the show notes, but it goes something like this. I'm actually going to read it so that I don't butcher her analogy. The universe is always offering you two things: a jar of cookies and learning how to cook for yourself. The cookies are easy, they're sweet, they're right in front of you, they taste good immediately. That is quite literally the situation that you're in, right? You're dating a guy, it's fun, you guys have chemistry, but he doesn't want anything serious. And for some reason, you're trying to stick around to see if you can get something serious out of it, even though you know damn well you're not getting jack shit from this guy. There's the late night text, there's all the chemistry, there's this idea that, oh my God, if I go with the flow, if I play it cool, then I can have what I want. But you have to understand that cookies are not a meal. They spike you, they crash you, they keep you hungry. And as long as you keep reaching for a jar of cookies, you will never learn to cook for yourself. Kris talks about how cooking is slower. It's less exciting at first. It's having standards. It's walking away. It's saying, this feels good, but it's not aligned. When you learn how to cook for yourself, meaning you build self-trust, you find some damn standards, you find some fullness in your own life, then if a cookie shows up, cool, it's optional. But right now, you're eating cookies, hoping that they turn into a meal, and they're not going to. It's not going to happen. So let's call this situation what it is. You don't walk away because it feels bad. You don't walk away because, oh my God, we don't have chemistry. Oh my God, like I hate spending time with him. You walk away because it feels good in a way that will cost you long term. You already know the situation is not aligned. You said it yourself. I know I'm technically choosing this. I think you are having a really hard time accepting what's in front of you, seeing reality for what it is. And the more and more and more you keep leaning in to this situation, the more you fall in love with this idea of a guy who is choosing you. But he's not choosing you right now, because as long as you keep choosing those damn cookies, as long as you keep choosing those situations that make you frantic, that feel chaotic, and you think it's chemistry, you will stay hungry. You need to do what's right for you and choose someone that chooses you. But right now, you are wishing on a star that someone who has made it abundantly clear that they are not choosing you will somehow change their mind. If you practice witchcraft and you would like to teach the class how you are going to get a man to change his mind about wanting to be with you, then please step to the front of the class and teach us your ways. But I doubt that you do. So let this one go. In Jesus' name, we pray. Love you.
Yeah, wait, before you go, leave me a review with a compliment. All right, if you have something negative to say, email it to me. Do not put that on the internet. All right, leave me a review.